Stephen A. Smith claiming that the Pittsburgh Steelers basically owed Ryan Clark an interview for their head coaching job. Let's play the clip.
I'm very upset going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers because I want to stay for the record, and I'm not joking about this. I'm dead serious. I believe that Ryan Clark should have been interviewed for the job. I mean it. I mean it. I believe that Ryan Clark, who I'm looking at right now, should have been interviewed for the job.
I wish I would've.
Phillip Rivers got interviewed.
You know that ain't happening.
By the Buffalo Bills. I'm just saying, you the Pittsburgh Steelers, what's up? What's up? I know they love RC. I know they know he's a Steeler for life. I know they pick up the phone and call him and defer to him and ask his advice and stuff like that, or give him or make sure they express their thoughts to him. How come you can't interview the brother? You gonna sit up there and bring Mike McCarthy back at 62 years old? That's right, and that's what I'm saying. That RC Ryan Clark should have been interviewed for the head coaching job of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Y'all gonna come to me years later. Remember this. Keep this in the archives. Stephen A. said it. You understand? This is what I'm talking about. These are the problems. Let's go on. Let's move on.
He's still upset about it.
What was that?
I have a theory.
Please.
I think he's trolling you. All right, that's a part of me. I mean, the timing of it after yesterday's show, what was said, and then literally, I think an hour later, I saw this and I said, I think he's trolling Whitlock. He might be trolling Fearless. Really. And I think it's silly. I don't even know. See, I think this is a direct response to a certain degree to Phillip Rivers jumping in line. I get it. And that surprised me. But at least Phillip Rivers has coached. He hasn't coached at a high level, but he's coached. He's shown a proclivity through his background that this guy really could be a football savant. Right now, I don't know how far he wants to go with this now that he's officially retired. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe by today, Stephen A. Smith will say that Antonio Brown should be getting a interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think there's a part of me that actually thinks he might be trolling you.
Here's what I think. I'm going to connect it. I'll open the door back up to the conversation we started the show with. This is just Stephen A. going where football, where the television networks, where the NFL is gone. He's just, hey, man, this is just a reality TV show. And so, hey, my cast member on First Take should get an interview. This isn't, I'm just telling you, what he's saying is, like, hey, man, this isn't serious anymore. This is just a TV show, and we can move characters around. If who was it? J.R. Ewing got shot on Dallas, or Bobby Ewing got shot and killed, and they came back and said, "Nah, he didn't really die. It was all just a dream." That's what the NFL is at this point. It's just like, hey, man, Shedeur sucks. He threw 10 interceptions, but we need him here for the Pro Bowl, and so we'll just drop him in. And you know what? The NFL's not serious anymore. Hey, Jeff Saturday got to coach the Colts for a few games. Phillip Rivers got an interview. Why can't Ryan Clark get an interview? Maybe Stephen A. I'm sound crazy here. I'm halfway defending Stephen A. But maybe he's just being honest about what this thing is that we're all addicted to, the NFL, what it really is at this point.
Yeah, but the thing about this, though, I remember growing up, or getting a little older in the 90s, that became more of an issue, the lack of minority coaches or their lack of opportunities. So there used to be serious discussions about why isn't a Sherman Lewis, who was the coordinator, I believe, of the Packers. They'd show him a lot. They'd say, hey, this guy's done a great job. Why isn't he getting interviews? And there's men like Jimmy Ray, who was a football lifer, right? And it took Marvin Lewis a few years to actually get a job in Cincinnati. So these were like serious discussions with men who moved up the football ladder. They were probably graduate assistants. They probably worked for $1 an hour at the beginning of their careers, worked 70-hour work weeks for years at a time. So you're thinking, man, these are men who deserve it. Now you're just saying, well, Ryan Clark dresses nice and he wears an RC pin. Why not him? Think about how unserious this discussion has become. So in many ways, the Rooney Rule, that's another maybe example of how it has actually backfired.
Steve, I know you're probably reluctant to go here, but I'm not. And you know, there are people, there's a growing army of people that honestly believe, hey man, it's WWE. The refs are in there manipulating and playing with the game. And again, ESPN, I think, don't they have some relationship with the WWE at this point?
Yes.
Everybody does. It's just television, and people watch me and you talk about this, and they sit there with a little giggle and a smile on their face like, Whitlock and Steve Kim really don't know what this is? This is just, it's just a scripted television show.
Jason, didn't the NFL on their tickets say this is sports and entertainment?
Yeah, they got some kind of exemption
Right.
about can't get sued and all that. Yeah.
So I look at sports much differently now than I did when I was younger. I used to think this was life and death. I really did. I used to really take this seriously. It used to bother me. You lose the sleepless nights, couldn't think about it. Now it's just like whatever happens, great, it's content. Let us talk. That's why, like, I'm not against sports betting. I'm not a hypocrite. You want to spend every one of your dollars gambling on something that may or may not be rigged, that is your right. I'm not going to stop you. And if you're good at it and you know what you're doing, God bless you. I am not going to be the one to stop you. I'm not one of these people that wants prohibition on most things. I really don't. Adults should be allowed to make their own decision. However, I also say to frustrated gamblers, you should know what you're getting into. If you think games are fixed or rigged and something looks suspicious, hey, buddy, what did you think you were watching? All of the world is a stage.
Well, we'll put a button on that and keep it moving to Bomani Jones had something interesting to say about Deion Sanders. Coach Prime is now fining players. Let's put up the full screen because I'm hoping we have this list of like all these different things. Deion's fined, late to a meeting, miss a workout, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's $500 here. Yeah, we got this list. Fines include late to practice, $500. No-show, $2,500. Late to a meeting or film, $400. No-show meeting film session, $2,000. Late to conditioning, $1,000. No-show. I'm reading this list and seeing all these things, and it's like, man. And trust me, there are things on this list that when I was a Ball State football player, I can remember I no-showed a workout. The first weekend that we started going to school and we started playing games, I didn't make the travel squad my first year. And the first weekend the players that didn't travel were supposed to come in for a Saturday workout. I drove home to party with my high school friends. Thought it was no big deal. When I came back, the coaches responded to me like the world had melted, and they just couldn't. And this is what an irresponsible idiot I was. And they ran me for several weeks just as punishment. And I never missed another meeting, another workout. I was never late to anything like that. When I look at that long list, I'm like, man, if you got these kind of fines for this, what is going on within the program was my first thought.
Yeah, Jason, you may want to get Big Matt McChesney on the show to discuss this because he did a full hour on this. And I heard that there were a lot of issues with Jordan Seaton, their big-time left tackle who just went to LSU, and he was one of the main culprits. Well, I have a question, though, Jason, and I'm sure you had kangaroo courts in your position room. Hey, if you get a holding call, you put in $1 to a jar, and at the end of the year, you get lunch with that, right? This looks an awful lot like pro sports. I have a question. So let's say you were the Jason Whitlock of 2025 and you're accruing all these fines. Do they take it out of your check? Are you penalized with the NIL? I'm just wondering if I'm a player and I'm only making $20,000 and you're going to take away 10% of my yearly earnings because I'm 5 minutes late to a weight training session. That seems a bit harsh. But overall, I'm with you, Jason. If you have to institute all of these things, that is an admittance. We are an undisciplined mess.
We have a bad culture. It's an admittance of that.